What up? What up? What up? You guys are on with another. Um, you guys are on with another for another show of your boy TB and Fishen. Fishen will be here shortly. Um, we're going to be talking about some good things today. Some fun things, I would say. But hope you guys have had a very good week so far. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. We look to have a pretty good show today. Thinking, what's up, the real TB? We're going to talk about some recruiting. We'll talk about the top five rushers coming back from college football. What else we got? SEC West preview. Um, you'll get to hear my boy Fishin be upset with some Florida recruiting, which is always fun. Um, so yeah. That's about it. What's up, Jacob? So yeah, we'll have a good show. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying talking football. As you guys know, I love football to death. Like I breathe, sleep, eat. I mean, that's all I think about is college football, even though I do other sports. But football is a year-round sport, especially when you dial in recruiting, and I feel like that's something that a lot of you guys like to keep up with. And hopefully, I can give you some news that you haven't heard yet. Hopefully, we can give you some stuff. Hold on, let me see if my boy. I will send it again. My boy. All right, I had to hook my boy up real quick. All right, it just said it. I just said it sent. But yeah, we'll see if we can give you guys some news that you haven't heard yet. So I'm gonna wait until Fishing gets here before I give you guys the recruiting because I know he's gonna want to hear it because we might have stolen a few players from Florida, which is gonna make me happy, make him mad. Uh, so all right, first thing that we'll start out with, which I think is kind of a good thing. We've seen a lot of teams lately dominating in the recruiting aspect. And a lot of these teams are your Miami, your Texas, and I want to say there's one more. And that's fine. I'm happy to see these other teams starting to grow in college football. I think we all are. Uh, but guess what it is? Now the part is development. Oh, Oregon. I think Oregon, seeing them do it as well. Um, but I'm really waiting on teams like your Tennessee, your South Carolinas, your don't interrupt Fishing doing Florida man things, bro. Leave my boy alone. What's up, big dog? What you up to?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
Hey, I like that shirt, by the way. That's a
Hey,
fire
bro.
shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fire shirt. Okay, so I was gonna wait to do this until you got here, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with it. I know we got SEC West preview today, top five rushers. We got some recruiting on both sides. I'm gonna start with the recruiting. Jacob says I don't think Texas will develop their talent right. No, I'm curious, Jacob, because Texas has flat out came out and said it. Every offensive lineman that commits, $50,000 on the spot. Every single one. I'm sure you got to wait till you get there to get it. But if an offensive lineman fishing is getting $50,000, don't you think skill players are getting a little more?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
You gonna
I'm
see
sure.
big wide receivers coming in too.
Yes. Well, and you've seen it, and we're not talking just offense. Think of the defensive side. Texas has been dominating a little bit. Miami,
Yeah.
they're doing the same thing. They're just not as open about it. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. But
Mm-hmm.
all right, this is what I wanted to tell you though. As far as recruiting goes for our boys in black and red, let me kill this fly real quick. Did I get it? I think I got it. All right. I just
Yeah,
fished
just
me
killed
out
it
of
like
that
that.
real quick. O line, not skilled position. No, the real TB. O line and D line aren't considered skill positions. Skill position, of course, is like wide receiver, running back,
Yeah.
DB, stuff like that. What's
Right.
up, Chase Woods? But okay, here we go. 2024 recruits that Georgia has gotten in the last couple of days. We'll say this week. You got Landon Thomas, who was the first one to commit out of these five. Number one ranked tight end for 2024, 24 overall in the nation.
Yep.
Okay, good.
I heard about that one.
Then we got Na Carr, who's out of Moultrie, Georgia, 10th ranked wide receiver, 66th overall. And for me, it makes me happy because at Georgia, people complain we don't get top wide receivers. Well, a top 10 wide receiver sound pretty good to me. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm by far happy with that. Then we got Daniel Harris, which 19th ranked quarterback. or cornerback coming
Cornerback.
out of
Yep.
Florida, 151st overall. And at Georgia, if you get recruited to come play cornerback at Georgia, you either have a lot of potential or you really good, no matter
Did
what
you
your
say
rating is.
150th?
No, he's 19th ranked, but
Oh, okay.
151st overall.
Yeah.
What's up, Christian? Okay, so here we go. Next, we've got Raylan Wilson, who was the 5th ranked linebacker, 72nd overall in the 2023 class. Number 5, good. And then we turned around and got Troy Bowles, who is the 2nd ranked linebacker. So we got the number 5 and number 2 linebacker in the 2023 class. Like, that is now 4 or 5 years in a row that Georgia has gotten, maybe 3 or 4 years, that Georgia has gotten 2 of the top 10. No, you good. But 2 of the top 10 linebackers in every class. Like, dominating linebacker you, which makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
But figured I would tell you that.
Yeah, speaking of, we haven't signed a linebacker this whole class. It ain't even looking like we're going to get one.
Really?
And it's one of the thinnest positions on the team.
Really?
It's not good.
So it definitely is a need, but
oh yeah, it's a big need. D-line and linebacker is the biggest need, and D-line's looking okay, but linebacker just not at all.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, we got some old white man back there at that linebacker coach. I don't know what he's doing.
Got you.
He looks like Josh Heupel 2.0.
I am curious to see, as a Georgia fan, how our offensive line is going to play out. Because, yeah, Bulldog JCS, what we just said that, bro. I was so excited to see that. And I was saying how Troy, he is the number 2 ranked linebacker, and then you got Raylan Wilson, who's the number 5. Like, great.
Yeah, Raylan Wilson was a really big one. That's a big get for y'all.
Yes.
Y'all took that one from us for sure. That was a big one.
What I love about those 2 guys, they're both super fast. Like, they both bring that mindset of cover linebackers. And at Georgia, we got Xavier Sorey, Mikael Sherman, and Small Munden, who are the younger ones. But that's how those guys are created. Like, when you see their body build, they're the slender, fast, get all over the field. And I love it because Georgia is kind of playing this whole, we're rough and tough. But if you want to run spread, go for it, bro. We can play the spread.
Yeah, that's one thing I will say about y'all's recruiting. Like, it's really easy to recruit on the defensive side, especially a linebacker, because all these really quick, fast players and stuff like that, that just appeals to what Kirby likes to do on defense. So
yes,
it's really, really easy to pitch that, especially at Georgia right now. Especially
and you can develop it.
Yes.
Yeah, agreed. And I'm thinking, I told somebody this. I'm so excited because I want to see how good of a coach Kirby is. You just sent 15 guys in the draft, right? 5 of them in the first round, and all 5 were defensive. Damn.
And that's a record.
Damn.
That was a record too. Yep.
Yes. And so in my eyes, what do you do with this young talent? Because you've been developing it. I mean, imagine you got a guy like what's his name? You got Mikael Sherman, who's going into his 3rd year. He has been sitting behind Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean, and freaking Channing Tindall for the last 2 years. Like, not only was he good when he got there, but you also got to learn from people who went in the first round. Like, bro, that's
when you talk about showing how good a coach is. If you got these people that are ready to step up after people go into the draft, and that's the whole thing you talk about. Like, Nick Saban reloads, and that's because he's a good coach. If Kirby can start reloading every year like this, after winning a title and having years like this, if you start reloading, that's when you can really tell how good of a coach he really, really is. Especially with young players. Young players coming in and sitting behind other people, and then they start coming in and starting right away the next year. That's a good sign. That's what you like to see from a coach and from a team as a whole.
And we're not saying that Kirby is a good coach and not a great coach. We get it. Kirby is a great coach when you compare him to all these other people and what they've done in their first bit of their tenures. That's good. But there's a separation, a gap between great coaches and Saban.
Yeah.
And
y'all still have the offensive side of the ball to be worried about. That's really the main problem I feel like with Georgia fans. And I don't blame you at all, because the offensive side of the ball. I know last year was a defensive year, but and then the year before was all offense. It was completely all offense. That's why Florida had such a good year. I think this year is going to kind of come back around. There's a really good quarterback class that's coming up. I think it's going to be more geared toward offenses this year. So yeah, I mean, and that's not bad for Georgia either because all the defensive players left. So if it's strongly offensive, that's not a bad thing because Todd Monk has been there, 3 years now? And so you have your big QBs and you have all these tight ends coming back. That's a good thing too. So
want to say shout out. We got some people saying what's up to us. First, we'll start out with this one. And I agree. Jacob says, let's see if last season wasn't a fluke for Georgia. I agree completely.
Well, it wasn't a fluke. We can get that out the way. It was not a fluke.
But to see if we can sustain it, that's kind of the big problem as a Georgia fan. Can we sustain that level? Now, come on, dude. Now, we just went through the season, the whole schedule for this coming up year. It didn't look like Georgia's going to lose a game. People are saying we're going to lose to Tennessee. They think that's going to be our one game we lose. But even if we go undefeated, it's like we just said, there's a difference. You got good coaches, and then you got your great coach. You got your Kirby. All the teams on our schedule, we don't have an A&M or a Bama. So it's like we have to wait until the SEC championship game, which is good. Gives us time to get the defense down, let the offense flourish, and in the SEC championship game be at full strength. If you're Bama, Bama's already at full strength. Bama's already, their defense maybe can get better, but their offense, you got a Heisman quarterback coming back. You got 5-star receivers everywhere. Like your offense is already what it is. Like you're dominant. It's just, can Georgia be that dominant? Can you both have dominant offenses? And who will have the better defense when you play? You'll both be dominant on offense in different ways. 5-star receiver galore at Bama, 5-star tight end galore at Georgia. Who will have the, But Jay Shipe said, just pull my meat. 9-pound Boston butt turned out nice. That's good. GF Sports says, what's up, TB? Traveling Fools hits us with the yo.
Shout out to Traveling.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Traveling. See what else. Okay. TF hits us with the cheer sign. What's up, Mr. Huff Billy Paul? He hit us with a yo as well.
Yeah.
TB, we're gonna need your ass here, sir. Yep, yes, sir.
Oh.
What kind of sauce you using? What now?
I said on cue. He's gonna need you.
Oh, yeah. On cue, yes, sir. Can't go wrong with Sweet Baby Ray's. Facts. Guys, we're putting the link out there just to let you guys know. You guys want to come in and say a little bit about what we're talking about. If you want to give your comments on it, that's fine. We're going to take you guys for, I say we'll just give you your time. Give you time to talk, and then that way we can move on. We got a schedule tonight, so if you want to come in and say something now, you're welcome. If you want to come in multiple times tonight, not going to bother me. I don't think it'll bother Fishen. So
we can talk about anything. It doesn't have to be anything specific.
Now don't tell us about how.
Yeah, don't tell us South Carolina's beating Georgia. Don't come in and do that.
Yeah.
Or that
I love this.
JC.
He says, did Georgia lose a lot of great defense players to the draft? Yes, but Georgia rotates defense players every 2 to 3 plays, and we return it. No, I agree completely.
Exactly.
That's a good point. Well, it's not like we're starting a brand new defense and everybody's a rookie. And nobody's got playing time.
Yeah, not at all.
And I was looking at the defensive as far as the starters. We got 7 guys who got starting minutes. Might not have started on paper, but got starting minutes out of the 11 defensive starters. So it's I'm fine by that, dude. I think the linebacker position is what I'm curious about.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying about rotating guys in and out. That's where you can go into this year and not really have to worry too much. I mean,
yes,
you got people with experience. You're not going in brand new with just a young roster, kind of like LSU did. They kind of played their best players, won the title. They didn't have anything stepping up the next year because they didn't have, they put their best team out there and they were great. But where you see really good teams like Alabama and Georgia, they already have experience and then they feel more comfortable stepping in. It's not just there's not a drop off.
Agreed. And it's crazy you bring that up about LSU. They were killing teams. I mean,
can you believe how bad they dropped off?
But why would you not rotate players when you're up by 40? It's like instead he was trying to break records. The coach was trying to break records instead of developing the younger, because they had talent. They still have talent. One of the most talented teams in the nation when it comes to
they still are. They still are.
But you did not. You blew like you put all your eggs in one basket. You got your championship.
Mhm.
Now you got a job. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, um, I told you that about Georgia recruiting. Is there anything you want to say about Florida recruiting?
Florida recruiting is pretty rough. We had a
Yep.
really big week last week, and all the Florida fans went crazy. Everybody just was excited, and I understand, and I am too, because I like seeing the commits. I love seeing the 4 stars, and we're signing a lot of 4 stars and blue chips. And if you don't know what blue chips mean, it's basically the more 4 and 5 stars you have on committed, other than 3 stars. So kind of like other teams like sign up a bunch of 3 stars and they get up in the rankings because they have so many commits. Blah blah blah. So not the case at Florida. Signing a lot of 4 stars. That's the good thing. The bad thing is, I don't know how many players that were really that are in the top 100. I don't think there's really very many, in my opinion. So that's kind of the problem for me. And I went back and looked at this. The class is lining up. This class for Florida is lining up to be just like a Dan Mullen class in years prior. That's kind of my problem, because that's where you still end up the same way. You're like 5th or 6th in the SEC in recruiting, even though you're top 10, and it just doesn't cut it in the SEC. So that's my problem with the class. And yeah.
No, that's tough, dude. I think I've said this before. If you guys win the games you're supposed to win, and y'all pull out an 8-4 season, because we just looked at the schedule, I thought y'all had. I didn't know, and when I saw it, I'm like, there is a chance you guys could go 8-4. If you do that, I think Billy Napier that can then have a foundation. He can have something to stand on, because that's what Dan Mullen had to stand on.
Mm-hmm.
They did. I mean, like
when Dan Mullen gave a shit, he could outcoach a team, and he could scheme, and he could develop players. That's just
then that mother freaker just gave up, bro. He almost beat
just gave
Bama,
up.
bro.
And it is what it is. The Florida fan base is one of the most pressuring in the country. So that's the same thing with McElwain. Me and you talked about this too with McElwain.
Yeah.
All the pressure came down. You can't handle it, and then you just kind of just bow out and give up. Really, really weak-minded, and just you let it cave in on you, and that's what happened.
Does that make sense why somebody like Steve Spurrier flourished at Florida? Because
Probably.
he's one of those.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, but Spurrier established all of it. I mean, there was no pressure really then, because we weren't amazing. He established all the greatness that was here. So,
Oh, JC says Arkansas is going in with no lube on Bama this year.
Hey man, Arkansas or Mississippi State. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, you ready to hear? We're gonna move on, guys, to top 5 rushers coming back this season. Are you ready to move on to that, my good sir?
Oh yeah.
All right. So, guys, every week we're gonna start giving you guys a top category of something. Like next week, I'm thinking we'll go edge rushers, kind of pick out the best defensive ends.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, once the season starts to get here, I think we can start going top defenses, top offenses. Best downfield offenses, little things. Okay, what's up, my boy Colby?
What's up, Colby?
So,
bro?
All right.
Colby's living life, man. Colby's living life, bro.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm happy for him. I love watching the stories. Colby, if you do want to come in a bit, join the click on the link. You can tell us a little bit about what you got going on. But Vic, any of you guys, y'all are welcome to join. Tell us a little bit about what you think. This is an open show. We want to make sure everybody kind of gets their time. If you come on, we want you to be able to tell us any new news you got or how you feel, about your team or the teams we're talking about, whatever it is. But top 5 rushers is this week. This is crazy. And I think this guy's coming back. Yeah, he is. Okay. Lou Nichols is his name. Uncle Lou from Central Michigan was a freshman, had 1,848 yards rushing as a freshman. And I know it's Central Michigan, but you're still a freshman, my boy.
Never heard of him at all. Never heard of him.
But I mean, think about dude that Billy Napier copped up, where he came from.
Montrell Johnson.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna go second of returning players. Tyler Alguera. Okay, from BYU. So all right, we got a Mormon at second with 1,601 yards. Is a sophomore coming back for his junior year. Syracuse running back,
I like
14,
him a
almost
lot.
14 yards.
I like
Syracuse running
that
back.
dude. I like that dude. You know what he does? He goes on Twitter after every game and he gives like a report of how he played. Like he says, he goes on Twitter and he says, yeah, it was, good game today. Could have done this better. Blah blah blah. Should have ran in the hole better. He does that. I really like that guy.
I love it.
Cool.
Hold himself accountable.
Yeah,
Paul,
he's
I'm gonna
cool.
bring you on as soon as I finish these last two. Okay, I'll bring you on, big dog. Paul is chilling. They are all skinny dipping at the pool right now, so I'm gonna bring him on in just a second. Kansas State with the next running back at 1,400 yards. He is a sophomore. He'll be coming back for his junior year. And then number 5, Rasheen Ali from Marshall University, a freshman that had 1,400 yards. It's wild because you think of running backs, though. You know what I mean? You think of running backs and you think of good schools that have good rushing.
Mm-hmm.
You would have never guessed BYU, Kansas State, Marshall, and Central Michigan.
You wouldn't. You got to think about the divisions and the conferences they play in, because they're not necessarily at the end of the day as talented as the top running backs that's on the top of your head.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, and then also let's think of this: they don't have multiple running backs that they can rotate.
Yeah.
So
so they're playing that player a lot. Yeah, they're getting all the carries for sure. Yeah.
We're gonna bring on Mr. Paul, man.
Yo.
Billy Bud.
How you doing there, Mr. Paul?
Where's the man? Where's traveling? Where's he?
How you doing, sir?
I don't know. Where's traveling?
Oh,
what's up, man?
Good. How you doing, Fishen?
Man, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
We got us a Clemson guy, guys. We got us a Clemson man on here. Is there anything going on in Clemson's world that we need to discuss?
No. Everything's in Georgia's world today. Georgia's doing good. They got a good recruit today. They're doing great. I'm not going to go touting Clemson. It's Georgia today. The way it works.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
How you doing, TJ?
Yeah, no, I'm good, man. I'm doing good. We got a good show as far as a bunch of things, lined up. But I guess I'm gonna go ahead and do this now, Fishing with Hufferbilly Paul in here. I'd like to.
It's the right time.
It is Hufferbilly Paul. I want you to hear.
Have you seen this Hufferbilly?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, tell Tennille we said hey.
Yeah, she's over here.
Tennille. Oh, y'all kicking it, man.
Her friend over here.
Tennille. Tennille.
Okay.
Wave, Tennille.
Guys, I want to tell y'all. I got this video from my boy Fishen, and it kind of made me question life in general. I want you guys to hear what former coach Brett Venables from Oklahoma had to say in a press conference that made me question. I'll just let you hear it. Okay, we'll just let you guys hear it. It's kind of made me feel a little awkward on the inside.
Yeah, let's see what he said.
It's like you expect the fire hose is fully inserted in my mouth here, and we've been blowing and going, and so.
Yeah, well, let's listen one more time. This is Brett Venables from Oklahoma.
It's been like you expect the fire hose is fully inserted in my mouth here, and we've been blowing and going, and so.
The fire hose is fully inserted in my mouth here. What does that mean?
Hey, look, man, stuff gets inserted into people's mouths all the damn time. Trust me. And when it does.
Yeah, but he said the fire hose has been inserted, and then he did this. He did this.
And then he
did this when he said
it. Blowing and going.
And what the hell?
Is it poking out of the jaw like this?
It could be. Yeah.
Oh, no,
has he done that kind of stuff at Clemson though? Ever? Like, has he ever said some weird stuff like that?
I wonder if he was trying. Anyway, we'll play that a few more times throughout the. Chase said, "Does he?"
People need to hear this. People need to be introduced.
This was Chase Wood's comment. Edward, we will bring you on in just a minute, okay? Does he have throat coat?
Chase, you're killing me, brother.
I wonder. I know an old Elton John trick. If you use Vaseline, it help you sing better.
Elton John.
Hell no. Hell no.
Hey, Tennille, how are you?
Neil.
Look, Ron's right here too. We're all
Yeah.
hanging out.
Ron, what's up? Hey. Okay. We got everybody on, bro.
Yeah.
That's what's up, dude. That's good. I'm glad y'all are having a really good time.
Yeah, it's good. TV, y'all should be here. I wish Fishen was here too. You get a lot of fucking fun. Yeah.
I may try to come a day early just so I can be with you guys and we can you know hang out.
Okay.
Watch TV.
I pray for everyone. Like, TV, I've been praying, like, you have made me so proud. Like, when you first started your show, and, like, was it last April? Or, like, last summer? And...
No, you're right. I think you are right. It was April.
No, I know. I was there for you. And, like...
Yeah.
Sorry. I was there.
I was telling Paul the other day about your first time calling in. I was like, I remember that. Like, you were one of my first, like, 4 or 5 callers that ever called in when I had a crappy camera.
I love you in it.
You know,
but you believed in kids.
Yeah.
Like,
TV's
really,
a kid guy.
No, you really believe in the kids.
Yeah.
And I had daughters, and so I was like processing the information I had to deal with, and like I'm so grateful for you. Like, honest to God. Like, this is the best thing to do.
I appreciate that. Well, I will see y'all soon. I'm going to try to stop by.
I swear to God I have.
What did he say?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh!
What?
Hey,
Yeah,
the
no,
real
Chase.
TV just said I'm the new head you have to.
Real TV. Stand up.
The what? What'd you say, Paul?
Smoking jacket.
I'm just smoking jacket.
Smoking jacket.
Hey, look. I am so grateful for fucking Robin and her.
Fucking her. I don't know why she's fucking her.
Like, I have been. Like,
Yeah, Robin is
blessed.
the.
No, I've been so blessed. Like, I came here from Douglasville, and like I've had people care about me.
Yeah. We've been having fun. I mean,
I talked to Paul.
It's good to see y'all, man. It's good to see y'all.
Yeah.
Well, hey.
Yeah,
hey,
and I told Paul that before.
Hey, no.
The TV. Did you come to the softball game?
He said I should show up at the softball game, and I was like, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in Georgia.
Yeah.
And
well, I'm definitely gonna stop by and see y'all.
I didn't know.
I'm definitely stopping by before.
But I didn't know Jesse and Lee were related. Do you understand how bad this goes back?
Yeah, don't go there.
Stop.
But hey,
Remember
TV,
this?
do you think it would be a bad idea for Tennille to come there or not? I told her not.
I don't know. Let's talk about that off stream.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it off stream. How about that?
Yeah, we will.
Okay. I'll call y'all when the stream.
Good to see y'all, man.
Yeah.
We'll talk later, man.
Okay.
Later.
And I love y'all. I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna bring on Edward because I know he's about to throw a trash can.
Yeah. I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna go. Y'all
Love
get me.
you. Hey, Fishen. Thanks for having my back, Shawty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Shawty. You already know, bruh.
Hey, you already know. Fine. All right, let's bring in Edward, guys. We'll talk. Actually, let's bring in both of these guys real quick. So guys, we had just got done talking about top 5 rushers coming back in college football. Most of them we would have never guessed. What's up, people? You would have never guessed. And we just showed this clip. What's up, buddy? We just showed this clip. I'm going to let you guys listen to it again because it is a very honest and makes me feel good inside. This is Brett Venables from Oklahoma giving a motivational speech.
It's been just like you would expect. The fire hose is fully inserted in my mouth here, and we've been blown and gone, and so.
Yes, so I'm glad for Coach Venables to have the fire hose inserted. Makes me happy, and I'm glad it's in his mouth. I'm glad he's blowing and going. I hope Oklahoma's whole football team is blowing and going. I think it'll be good for their program. What do you guys think?
I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the same thing I said, Vic. Kind kind of disturbed me actually. That should be a rated R video.
Yeah, I don't know
So
why
I'm guessing.
fire hose inserted into his mouth, but
Well,
Yeah, I have
why
no
fire
idea.
hose? Why his mouth?
yeah,
Why
I
does
don't
he have to do this motion? These
Yeah.
are questions we all need to know.
It definitely disturbed me. So what about you, Edward? Have you ever heard a coach say he's got the fire hose inserted? He's blowing and going. What's up, Slim Shady?
I never heard that, but that's always a first.
Yeah. So, anyways, I
So,
would like you guys.
do y'all have any like top running backs y'all like this year?
Let's see. Well,
I've got a number of them, but I'm wondering what y'all think.
Well, for recruiting classes that I'd say for where we talking, Florida, Georgia,
Any team any team.
All right. Well, I'd say for Georgia, I think they got some good running backs, and I think the class they got, I think they got a shot to win the Natty this year.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I mean, Florida State. I mean, they just got a good recruiting class, but I think they are struggling. But I think the more recruiting classes they get, I think the better they get. So
For sure. Yeah, each class has gotten a little better. I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're talking about Georgia's running back.
They're all going in the right direction.
found out.
Texas Tech, I'm sure, has got a decent recruiting class. They're going in the right direction. But like I said, I don't think Texas Tech has been dominant like they used to be. But whatever recruiting class they get, we'll get them a step there. So
Texas Tech.
I just found out that Georgia got the.
I was on the Lunch Money show, and I think C-Dog asked me about Texas Tech's recruiting class.
Oh, that was a troll. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to tell y'all. I just found out that Georgia got the number one running back in the class of 2025 to commit as well.
Oh wow!
So that was
2000.
yeah. So, I guess he's a 10th grader now. He's going into his junior year. Does that sound right?
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
But
What about you, Vic?
Georgia's got a chance this year.
Let's see,
With
20.
that top running back, Georgia's got a chance this year.
Let me give y'all a few, and then y'all can bounce off if y'all think of the others.
Probably going. Yeah.
Go ahead, Fishen.
Bijan Robinson at Texas, Tank Bigsby at Auburn,
Yeah.
Zach Charbonnet at UCLA. I think Florida's got some really good running backs too. Trayvon Henderson, whatever his name is, Henderson at Ohio State. Yeah, he's damn good. Michigan still has one. I think they didn't go to the draft. Is it Blake? That's not Blake Corum. No, that was Michigan State, and he's gone.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see here. Chris Rodriguez at Kentucky, even though he's suspended and got a DUI, he's been really good, and it's like his super senior year. That's going to hurt his draft stock probably, but yeah, he's another good one.
So he got a DUI. Okay.
Yeah, Chris Rodriguez got a DUI. He's going to be suspended for the Florida game in Kentucky.
Ugh. It's going to hurt.
That's why I like Kentucky to not be as good this year and Florida to win because he's out, and yeah, that's a big.
Got to rely on the backup.
Yep.
Okay. What about Vic Tube? What you got? What you got? Any guys that you can think of as far as Nate? I'll bring you on whenever I let.
Probably like Bijan Robinson at Texas. Probably. I do like the Rodriguez at Kentucky. I think he's really good.
Me too.
Let's see.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Kentucky always.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Gibbs, that's one.
We didn't even think about him.
But
he was at Georgia Tech. It was terrible, but he was still dominating.
Oh no, he was good at Georgia Tech. That's the thing. He was good in that horrible team.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
That no one said yet. But.
Go ahead, Vic. Too.
Yes, trying to think of someone who no one has said yet. But.
Well, I would say one that I'm really looking forward to, and I know this is a homer statement, but I mean it is what it is. It's just what I know. Brian Robinson, which is the Branson. Yes, is it Branson or Branson Robinson? That's his name.
He's gonna be good, dude.
I wonder, are they going to let their 3 or 4 running backs this year kind of hold the totem pole, rotate all this and that, and let him redshirt, let him get used to it? Or is he going to be good enough to just, is he going to be good enough to get his, like the same way DeAndre Swift did? Swift came in when we had damn Chubb and Michelle and was getting reps.
That's right.
Like, so.
Yeah, I think he will. Depending on how the other running backs do, that'll depend if they redshirt him. If they feel like Kendall Milton and Kenny McIntosh and then Dejon Edwards, I think is the third. If they hold it down pretty good, they may redshirt him, but you don't redshirt running backs really. So I think he's going to come in and already start playing.
Agreed.
I
agree.
like KJ Jefferson at Arkansas.
Yeah.
But
which he's the quarterback. But
a
quarterback. I get what you're saying as far as being a rusher.
But like a running back playing.
Yeah.
Though,
this is the part. He runs like a running back. He can truck people.
Yeah.
Run you over.
He's kind of like a Tebow. Not the same, but kind of like a Tebow Jr., like a mini Tebow. Doesn't have the same impact, but plays the same.
Their
way.
backup is fast too. Their backup is super fast. He was the one
he's playing wide receiver. He's playing wide receivers and quarterback.
Oh, I was about to say, okay, yeah, they have him rotating.
I don't know.
But I think with the new rule now, you can play up to 4 games and still get redshirted. So a lot of these teams that have all these recruits come in, especially your A&M that just got a loaded class, your Georgia, your Ohio State, Bama, those 4 games where you playing some terrible teams, let those guys get reps, bro. Like, let them get their feel.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree with the Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's underrated. I think he's going to have a breakout year this year, especially with a balanced offense, so you can't just key in on him. So
I think Texas A&M's going to look good this year.
Do you?
Well, he said Tennessee.
The running back.
Texas A&M.
They got.
Devon A-Chain. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, see, there's another one. Devon A-Chain. Yeah.
I think A&M's going to look good.
I think Devin.
Devin Devon. Yeah.
I also like what's the dude's name? It's Tank Bigsby. Oh, was it Dejon Robinson? I like him. Yeah, that guy's a beast.
Dejon. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tank. Bisbee.
Did Tank transfer from Auburn?
He's a beast too.
No.
No. He thought about it, but he didn't do it.
He's still at all.
I thought he did. Okay. Well,
which that's crazy. Look at Auburn. I mean, that's crazy to be able to convince him to stay.
Who could have went anywhere?
Yeah. Bama would have took him in a heartbeat.
Easy. You'd have had Tank Bigsby and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh boy,
that would be insane to get those two together.
Yep.
Well, and the thing is, Bama already has a stupid offense. They already have the best offense in the country. I know Ohio State's going to try to battle with that, title, but you literally have. I mean, they have weapons everywhere.
Bama's balanced. Ohio State's just really elite in passing. Well, I say that. I mean, they're good at rushing too. I just named Trayon Henderson, whatever. I mean, they're good at both. But Bama just, I don't know. The way they play feels more balanced to me.
Bama runs a more physical run offense. Agreed. But Bama runs a more physical run offense.
Yeah.
Ohio State runs a more spread run offense. They run out of the spread way more. Bama doesn't mind lining up and shoving it down your throat like a water hose and blowing and going. I'm just saying. That's kind of how. But anyways,
they insert
exactly, Edward. I'm gonna let you go though. That way I can bring on Nate, and then I'll let him kind of talk a little bit, and then we'll move on to the next part of the stream.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what's the situation with Notre? Has Notre Dame made a decision on? Are they gonna go ACC, Big Ten, or is there no decision made yet?
Don't get caught up in all the hoopla.
I'm not caught up. I'm just wondering.
Oh, you know what, TB? I wanted to say this too. I guess I'll say it now.
Red, gold, and blue, dude. Worry about.
Well, yes, but
say it.
All right. So, you know how everybody, and this goes for all of us. everybody was clowning Notre Dame, saying you got to join the ACC, join a conference. If you're going to play in the ACC in the COVID year, you need to join the ACC. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
Look at
join
the ACC right now.
Join-
They hold so much power to what happens next as far as any realignment goes.
That's right.
Notre Dame has a lot of. They're holding a lot of power now. This Thanos finger type shit. I mean, they really control a lot of what's going on. Or what's going to go on.
Yeah. Well, and it.
So
Yeah, of course, it all started with Oklahoma and Texas.
Yeah,
go ahead. Good.
Yeah, well, I was just saying, like, like nobody knows where they're gonna go.
Okay.
It's probably going to be the Big Ten. If it's not the Big Ten, then whatever. You know.
Yeah, and we know something's going to happen, and we can sit here and speculate all day. Like half of Notre Dame's teams going to the SEC, the other half is going to protest and go to the Big Ten. Like it doesn't matter. Something is going to happen. We know it will. But in my eyes, if Notre Dame for the next 2-3 years can sustain the recruiting that they're doing, and that was another one I forgot, Fishen, as far as NIL goes. Miami, Notre Dame, and Texas dominating the NIL. If Notre Dame can sustain it, by the way, first #1 recruiting class ranking for Notre Dame in the last 12 years, something that Brian Kelly was never able to do.
Yep.
It's not over with, but the fact that he got there,
he's already there, and it's not even there. We still got 4 months till signing day.
Yeah, exactly.
4 or 5 months.
And he ain't even started the season yet. He ain't had his first season.
Yeah, so. Yeah, he's killing it, bro. He's killing it, and that's a lot of people are clowning Kelly for that, and so we'll see if that pans out to be true at LSU. But the other thing to the ACC thing with Notre Dame, imagine if they did go to the conference after the COVID year and they signed like a 10-year deal, they're stuck. And what if the ACC plummets?
Yeah.
Like, if you really want to get into it,
is plummeting.
They're going to try to go after Notre Dame to stay alive.
Yeah, well, right. And if they don't get them, I hate this because it's so much damn speculation and it's a bunch of bullshit. But so if the SEC takes Clemson, Florida State, UNC, and Virginia, whatever they're talking about, the ACC is going to die. And so Notre Dame's not going to go to the ACC once they find out what the ACC is going to do with those teams. So that's why you're not hearing anything about Notre Dame, because they're just waiting and seeing.
Okay.
Pretty much the best way I can say it is when the next brick falls, then you'll see what Notre Dame really wants to do. That's the baseline of, like, that's what I think of what you know, that's the most you can tell.
Yeah, now sort of dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Edward, I'm gonna let you go so I can bring on Nate. Okay.
Thanks for having me on, Tiger.
Right,
Fishing.
you
Good to talk to you guys. See you, VicTube. Later, Tiger.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on.
All right, thank you.
Man, I love having a calm and chill.
We got calm Edward, bro. He's not bad.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. Well, and you can tell though, getting to hear calm Edward, it's like he actually knows football. You know, like you would have just thought he was just barking all the time, but it's like now getting on here and listening to him, he really does know his stuff. Like as far as you could tell he's a college football.
A little bit.
We'll bring on Nate.
For sure.
Nate the Great is back from Colorado. I thought Nate lived in Colorado.
The fuck is in the air everywhere. Oh, sorry about that. I forgot we were live.
All good. I mean, I've been live, but you know, whatever you feel, whatever floats your boat, Nate. Real quick, Nate, before I let you talk, I want to say this. Jacob brings up a good point. Him and the Real TB have been talking back and forth about the offensive line for Bama.
Mm-hmm.
And I do agree. Offensively, y'all were a powerhouse, bro. A freaking powerhouse. Offensively dominant.
Are they dogging the O-line?
Yeah. The offensive line last year struggled. And then going into this offseason, bro, that's all I've heard Bama fans talk about is our offensive line has to get better. So I'm wondering, is the O-line coach on the hot seat this year? If they don't step it up and you know, reduce some of the sacks. Who was it, Auburn, that had 6 sacks against them in the game?
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro. And then Georgia came out in the championship game, threw up 6-7 sacks. Like, if you take away those sacks, does Alabama have a better chance at beating Georgia? Of course. So, you know, just saying, like, there's a lot of there's a lot that goes into it, and I would say Alabama doesn't play around with that mediocre crap. I could see that. So
Yeah,
So,
Saban definitely don't.
yes. So on TV, yeah. So can I go ahead and get your thoughts on this slob softball game?
uh,
Well, it's very
I'm gonna
simple.
be
Team Fools is going to
taking
win,
steroids.
and that's it.
I'm gonna be taking steroids for the game.
Oh God.
I'm gonna be juiced up, and I'm going to inject the blood of a who is it? A Dominican in my bloodstream to make me better at baseball. There's a few things that I got
Damn.
lined up with. Yeah, that's about it. Nah, dude, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I think you're just gonna have a lot of out of shape people running around, a lot of people missing the ball, and I think a few people are gonna try to catch a ground ball and it's gonna pop up and hit them in the face. So I'm thinking I'm gonna wear a mask, just because, like an actual like softball mask, because I know I'm gonna go after
Which is smart.
ground balls and I'm not getting hit in the face. Like,
Yeah,
like I
plus,
said,
there's got to be one person that's spreading COVID at this event. I don't know who it is yet, but there's going to be one.
It's not gonna be me.
It's not going to be big.
But I'm just saying, it's like I don't care if people dog me for wearing a mask. It's like that. I don't care, bro. I'm not getting hit in the face with a softball.
So
Like I'm actually gonna go out there and try to, I'm gonna try to field and actually, do my thing. But
yeah, that stuff
What's up,
hurts
dude?
if you get hit from that.
Is Team Fools gonna win?
Yeah.
I mean, I would think so. I think if you said, hey, you got a basketball game going on, do you want the team that looks like, they can run further than 15, 20 feet without breathing hard? Or do you think it's the team that, I don't know, go
Unless
to
you
buffet?
think Team Raj is going to hit a home run every time or every few
Yeah,
batters,
that's not gonna happen.
that's the only way they'd win.
If you get base hits every single time, you don't really have to run 2 or 3 bases. You can just move up one. So
That's true.
It's really just going to depend on the momentum, Dick, because I think a lot of sports comes down to the pressure. And are you going to have people that fold under pressure? Are they going to try to do too much? Are they going to try to hit it too hard and hit a little ground ball? Because that's what I see. Especially if I'm playing short, most of the balls will go to shortstop because most people are pull hitters, and our people are going to try to kill it and miss it by a little bit and it be a baby grounder to me. What percentage are going to be really hard ground balls? And I think for me, it's the easy balls are going to be easy to get, but I have to be able to try to stop some of the hard hit ones to kind of solidify myself in softball history.
Yes. So are y'all kind of like the Warriors in this game?
Or the
Actually,
like the Celtics, right?
man,
well, the Celtics they had an 86% chance to win the championship and ended up losing. So
yeah, that's fact. Somebody's going to go to the ER.
Yeah, I do agree.
Slim says somebody's going to go to the ER.
Traveling says
and it's probably going to be on Team
Raj.
Raj. Just saying.
Traveling says Team Raj is the Clover Valley of softball teams. So yeah, they're the RC Cola.
You're talking great value here.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's it.
You're talking great value type stuff here.
Yeah,
so
I will stream the game though. I'm gonna bring my laptop and I'm gonna make sure that So yeah.
Can I
What you got, Nate? Nate, what's up?
So all this hype around, I don't know how to say, but all this hype around Ohio State is getting ridiculous in my opinion. As a Michigan fan, like, yes, we beat them last year, but all this talk about their explosive offense, and with all their receivers, which is they're inexperienced. And no, not that's the only receiver that is experienced. on Ohio State's wide receivers. So the hell is this sound?
The hell?
Nate, are you playing Zelda? My boy Nate playing Zelda in the background. That or
No,
Pokemon.
I forgot to turn out the Minecraft music.
It's Minecraft.
But my point is, I don't know why there's really too much hype on Ohio State. You know what goes wrong if there's too much hype on a team in general. It goes wrong.
Now, hold on, though, Nate, because I do want to say this, okay? Because I agree with you, but my team, this team right here, this team with the G, you see it, the red and black, yeah, they were overhyped in everybody's opinion. Because I remember before the season started, people were going, "Is this going to be the best Georgia defense of all time?" And it ended up being one of the most historic defenses, and I won a national championship. Now, I agree with what you're saying, though. Ohio State does tend to f up one time, but before the playoff era, that wasn't okay. Now with the playoff era, they have a really good chance of getting in every time if they only mess up once.
Mm-hmm.
And with the offense they have, Nate, out of the 9 or 10 scholarship receivers that they have, I swear 8 of them are 5 stars. Like,
I know, but they're inexperienced though. That's my point.
And I'm with you. Trust me, I'm with you. And I want to let you know this too. A receiver that just went from Ohio State to the draft this past year, I think he got drafted late first round or early second. He played 1 year at Ohio State. He sat first 2 years of his career and did not get any playing time. So it just goes to show, even though he doesn't have experience.
I'm not saying that they're good. I'm just saying experience-wise.
I agree. But I'm also telling you that experience doesn't mean that they're going to be great, and it also doesn't mean they're not going to be
like people say sometimes this, and Michigan doesn't have the wide receivers that Ohio State has, and that's true. But they do have 4 stars, 3 stars that can catch the ball, that can run, and probably not elite than Ohio State's wide receivers, but they can catch the ball, they can run, they can play physical and stuff. And whether or not, if Michigan starts J. McCarthy, or Kim McBurney or whatever, I'm just saying that as a fan of Michigan and a rival, arch rival of Ohio State, I'm not going to do a prediction, not just yet, but I have a feeling that Michigan could upset Ohio State as a homer, but anything can happen. I don't know. But,
okay.
Agreed.
I'll tell you a few things. The problem with all that, and I agree with you, Nate, on some of those points, but the problem with that is not only just in Jim Harbaugh's system, they don't throw the ball like that, but they don't have really the quarterback. Now, you could say J.J. McCarthy, and he's got a really high ceiling, 5-star. I like him a lot, but we haven't seen him do anything. And then when you look at Ohio State, they have insanely talented receivers every single year. Every year, it's just reloading on that side of the ball with quarterback and receiver. So with that being said, now Ohio State got the defensive coordinator, and that's the problem with Ohio State. That's been the problem, was the defense. The offense is amazing, high flying. They throw the ball amazing, and the defense just never gets it done. And to compete on a national level or be a top 4 team. They got the defensive coordinator from Oklahoma State, Jim Knowles. He might not do it the first year, but coming 1 or 2 years, they're going to have a really, really good defense too because of just the talent that they have.
I hate to agree, but
Slim, I'll bring you on in just a few minutes, okay?
Yeah, I think they will have a good defense, like 2 to 3 years, but I don't think they'll be elite this year, but it might be good this year.
It'll be better. It'll be better.
They'll have to rely on the offense to carry them, but yes.
But I'm just telling my takes about my team, so I'm just
that's fine, bro. That's why we even did this whole show is, that's the Fishen. That was his main thing, wanting people to come on and being able to talk about their team more and more. And so, What I'll do, Nate, and you're welcome to join again later, but I'm gonna let you and Vic go. I'm gonna bring on Slim so we can talk about some Miami stuff. But
Miami Ducks.
towards the end, we are gonna open it up towards the end, and you guys are welcome to come back on. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Appreciate y'all, man.
See you guys. I appreciate y'all. All right. Let's bring on Miami, man. We can talk us some Miami football. What's up, Mr. Slim?
I did see something funny in the comments section a minute ago that I have to comment on. Somebody was talking about the running back from Mississippi State is going to be really good. Is there a more relevant player in football than a running back in a Mike Leach offense?
I was just going to say, in an offense that throws the ball 57 times. Yeah, bro, you had 4 carries for 12 yards today, boy. I see you, dog. Like, yeah.
I will tell you, it's a good recruiting pitch. You could be the only one getting the ball when they run the ball. And that's about one of the good things you could say.
Now, if you're going to be a running back and you go to a Mike Leach offense, of course you need to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield because you're going to have more catches than rushes, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, most definitely. You're going to have plenty of catches.
Yeah, so it'd be your way of kind of, if you're that type of player and you want to get drafted, there's offenses suited for everybody. You know, like I think of who was the guy from Florida, the little scat back that he went to the pros, but he was nasty. Punt returns, all of it.
Depends which one you're talking about.
Name one of them. Just name them.
Percy Harvin.
Yeah, okay. Take a Percy Harvin. Somebody like that, you could have put him at running back in Mike Leach offense. Just because you would have had to, he's not going to be blocking anybody. Blocking a whole lot. But somebody that can run out of the backfield like that, he'd make you pay. And he'd make you pay big time. So
they would line up Percy Harvin in the Wildcat when he was there.
Yeah, they did a lot. Mm-hmm.
Florida?
They did everything with Percy Harvin. I mean, he was a problem.
Oh, Percy Harvin was a hell of a player. I'm not going to knock him.
Yeah, Percy was different, bro.
I didn't know they put him at Wildcat, bro. You got balls.
They put him at Wildcat. They put him at punt return, kick return. I mean, they did everything with him.
The only reason he went to Florida is because he wanted to play with Tebow. He said otherwise he would have gone to USC.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and they would have showcased him the same way at USC. They would have.
In that time period,
because that was right after Reggie, wasn't it?
That would have been right after Reggie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they would have just handed the reins right over to.
Probably, yeah.
They would have showcased him. But away from that, Slim, tell us about some Miami, bro, because all I keep seeing on social media is all Miami.
What the fuck are y'all drinking down there, bro?
Well, I mean, all they're really talking about is how, how he's basically, giving Billy Napier a golden shower in recruiting. I mean, he's just pissing all over him.
Yeah, but how? And look, I know he's a good recruiter. I know this.
He's won Recruiter of the Year like 4 or 5 times. He's the best recruiter in the country.
Well, goddamn, I see why. Fuck.
Yes.
So I mean, some people are attributing to NIL. From what I'm hearing, they're not cutting big checks to players like Tennessee did. They haven't cut anybody that I've heard of an $8 million check.
I'll tell you what I heard, and this may go for the whole NIL or just maybe Miami, but what I've heard is that nothing is being signed. So like they're telling the players that you can come here and do this potentially, and that's the offer. Nothing's being signed, but there's the potential for this and this and this here, and then plus. So, and then was saying that, obviously he's a good recruiter, and obviously Miami has money. So I think that's more so the big sale to me. That's what it seems like. That's what I've heard.
Well, to be honest with you, the difference that everybody's seeing in Miami, and one of the reasons they're talking about them, is because for the first time ever, Miami's actually opening up the checkbook. And I'm not talking about NIL. I mean, everybody knows it's not the university. They're actually opening up the checkbook as far as they've never paid a coach as much as they paid Mario. They're fixing to do like $135 million upgrade on the football facilities. They've never spent that kind of money. So I mean, forever and a day, it's been Miami doesn't have money. Well, no, they've got money. They're just cheap. They've gotten away with it for so. They had a whole lot of success being cheap, and I think the light bulb's finally gone off in their head that they can't do that anymore.
And give props to the administration for that, because a lot of other schools aren't doing that.
I'll say this. I think it's a combination of everything. Because, like, I'm one of them that have said, I do believe that NIL has a play in it. Do I think it's all of it? No.
Yeah.
But I think you have good
absolutely. I think it's got a play in it. Yeah.
But you have a guy that's a great recruiter, which is, I'd say, 70% of what's going on now. But then you give that great recruiter NIL. Then you open up the checkbook for him to be able to, whether it's flying to go meet recruits, whether it's flying them in, whether it's treating them to a really good visit, whatever the case is, you're finally, like you said, opening up the checkbook, and you have a great recruiter. And I think that's what you're seeing is just dominance, like pure dominance of, because Texas, that's a whole different story. Texas is purely NIL. That Sarkisian ain't shit. Like that man's spending half the money he get for NIL on alcohol. Like, I'm not.
Well, and part of what I meant too by the university spending money, they have the largest budget in the ACC this year for assistants, and you're seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
With them, bringing in, Alonzo Highsmith basically just be the AD over football. Yeah, he's right up under the AD. He basically just controls football. They hired away Jason Taylor from St. Thomas Aquinas, and now he's an analyst.
Smart.
And he kept Ed Reed there to help with the recruiting pitch. So now you've got Ed Reed and Jason Taylor sitting in recruits' houses.
Exactly, dude. And that
on top of Mario Cristobal's recruiting ability.
Yeah. That's a serious problem.
House, like, okay, if it's a big recruit and you got Cristobal, Jason Taylor, and Ed Reed, all three walking in your house to sit down and eat with you. But then imagine splitting those guys up and sending Ed Reed with 2 assistants, Jason Taylor with 2 assistants, and Cristobal with 2 assistants. Like, your amount of firepower as recruiting is huge.
Because don't forget, and Fishen can attest to this. Not only their defensive coordinator is a hell of a recruiter, but their co-defensive coordinator, who used to be at Florida, is one hell of a recruiter, and Charlie Strong.
Yep. That's a big one.
What? Charlie Strong is at Miami?
Yeah. Charlie Strong is the assistant. He's the co-defensive coordinator and linebackers coach.
Yeah, he's one of the best recruiters on there, on the staff.
Oh my goodness, bro. Like, but that's my point. Open, like, and Traveling says it perfect. I've been saying for years, we've been saving up money, just waiting for the timing to be right to spend it. In every aspect.
It's the right time. It's the right time.
Yes, dude. That's awesome.
And
like that actually.
Yeah, and of course I don't like to say this. And as fans, we look at it as an outside perspective. Oh, Miami's been horrible. Miami doesn't have a home stadium. Miami this, Miami that. Miami sucks. Well,
yeah,
true on the stadium part, and true on they've been sucking part. But Miami has a lot to sell, especially being in South Florida. And you could say the same about Florida too, especially with recruits. But Miami has a lot of fucking shit to sell.
Opening up a playbook. Florida just ain't. Yeah, Florida ain't trying to take that leap.
This is the okay. All right, let me get on tangent. Miami is willing to spend the money and open it up. Go ahead.
What you say, Slim?
I was going to say what you want. Yeah, add on top of that, they're willing now to spend money for the program, because that came from the administration. When they got a new president of the university 5 years ago, I think. The one before him, she took over in 2001. So she took over when the football program was on top, and she constantly just pulled money away from the football program because it was on top rolling. She figured she could. Now to add on top of all the recruiting ability that the staff has, NIL's contributing, the improvements that the administration is making to the football program in general. I mean, is it really that hard to sell a recruit on hanging out in Miami for 4 years over Tuscaloosa, Alabama?
Yeah.
I know.
So, yeah, no, I agree. My problem is Miami. Of course, Miami hasn't done this recently, but they're investing now. My problem is that the administration at Florida is not investing. They don't want to win football bad enough, or else they would. I mean, they're putting new facilities in, and that's all cool and all, but you can tell. I mean, because Florida had to up the NIL budget. Well, if you're the University of Florida, you shouldn't have to up it. Like, it should already be. You know the competition that you're up against. Why are you upping the fucking money? So I just don't think Florida wants to win. I don't think they want to win bad enough. Not in football. I just don't.
No,
Florida is in a lot of the same boat as Miami. Miami really didn't become a relevant football program until the late 70s. And this isn't a knock on Florida, but Florida, for the most part, really didn't become a big-time football program until Steve Spurrier came back as the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Facts.
So it's with both of them, it's kind of a lack of history. And, yeah, like I said, Miami's problem was they were able to have an enormous amount of success without investing in the program. And that's why you've seen them where they've been for the past 15 years, because they were like, we'll figure it out. We've done it before. And it's not the same college football.
Yeah, it's not.
Agreed. No, and I think for me as a college football fan, I'm not just a guy that watches Georgia and that's it. Like, I watch a lot of college football. I love it. And now seeing all these teams start to get better, whether it's Tennessee finally getting a good quarterback, like a really good one of the best they've had in a while, seeing Miami load up, seeing Texas load up, seeing Texas A&M load up. Dude, I freaking love it. Like, I want other teams to be really good. Like, I don't want it to be where, no, I hope Tennessee has a terrible class and Kentucky has a terrible. I want to win the SEC East every year due to the fact other teams are weak. No, like, I want to play. I want other teams to be good. That as simple as possible. Like, I want.
Listen, I mean, that's just going to happen. I mean, don't forget when Tennessee and Florida were dominating the East in the 90s, Georgia was a dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
You couldn't pay somebody to be a Georgia fan in the 90s. So I mean, that's why I've said this till I'm blue in the face, and that's why I don't get as upset about it. This was just my turn.
Yeah, it's cyclical. You know, it goes in cycles. Yeah. It just is what it is.
But it's also different now because I feel like NIL's changing that.
Yeah, well, you're seeing the most change.
NIL is going to make that cycle go faster.
Yeah, right.
No,
because you're seeing the most change in all of football that's ever been. You're seeing the quickest and the most change in college football.
But I will say this too, though. I will say this. In Miami, they have a coach that's good at recruiting and developing. But some of these teams out there that are using money, you mess around and don't develop 1 or 2 recruiting classes. People ain't dealing with that. I'm not going to your school for 3 years just to get money and be a bust in the NFL because you couldn't develop me.
Yeah, they just transfer.
Not doing it.
Well, and you're going to see the transfer portal kind of eat itself too, because you had so many. You ended up with so many players just left sitting there that they're going to start to see it, and they're going to start to second guess transferring.
True, and with that point, in my opinion, I mean, it's kind of their fault. I mean, if you're in the portal along with 4,000 other kids, and you don't get picked up, I mean, I understand the situations. Maybe you don't like the coach; it wasn't all that cracked up to be. But at the same time, that's why you have to take your commitment serious because you're committing
Thank
to.
you. That's why.
Yeah.
Yes, dude.
So I mean, I feel bad, but I don't feel bad because you know what I'm saying.
Agreed, dude.
I mean,
that's what
it's your decision. So I mean, I don't feel bad for you. You made a decision, live with it.
Yeah, right.
Because as much
But
as
I
we
think
want to
that's
call
where
them kids,
NIL.
they are adults.
They are.
Yeah.
If they're gonna
And
get
it's not like they're
checks
making
and paid to go to schools, they're grown, and yeah, you make the right decision or you make your own decision. And not only that, but these days they're having people help make the decisions for them. So
yeah, and now you can't just take an NIL deal with the mindset, oh, I'll just transfer, bro.
Nope.
Unless you were one of the baddest people in college football, those big programs aren't going to take you. That's like, dude,
you know what you got to do, my boy?
Who was it? Was it?
You know what you got to do?
What?
Well, and that's where I think teams like Miami and Texas are being smart because neither one of them are cutting huge checks like you've seen to some players. They're doing 50 grand a year for every year that you've been there. So it's not a we're going to cut you this big check. You're going to get this big deal, after you come here. It's gonna have to accumulate.
And not only that, they're not going out in bulk on one or two players. They're spreading it out throughout the whole recruiting process.
Oh, they are
blowing it on one player like Tennessee did, and then signing a bunch of 3-stars.
There's over 100 Miami players with NIL deals right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's another point. You gotta get the players that are on the roster NIL deals that they want to transfer. Anybody that's good, that you want to keep.
Well, and I said this before it started. I was like, it's going to have to figure out some kind of way to work that way, because otherwise you're going to end up with, a prima donna wide receiver or quarterback that have got this big deal, and now you've got this offensive lineman that they have to rely on, and he ain't getting nothing.
Yep.
Well, but I mean, think about it. It's almost a mini NFL because offensive linemen in the NFL don't make as much as the quarterback, but it's that sense of
bullshit.
I'm saying, bro, I have not seen an offensive lineman sign for no $250 million. Like, I know there are some quarterbacks.
Well, specifically, your left tackles quietly getting a check.
Now, look, I'm not disagreeing because
think about it. An offensive lineman is
the left tackle is your
almost making as much as a receiver. It's almost making as much as a receiver. So, yeah, I mean, they're getting paid.
But I mean, at the same time, they're going to see. It's real easy to see how it works in the NFL. You got Aaron Rodgers getting that huge check, or you got Tyreek Hill getting that huge check. What other big name you got on that team?
Agree.
Right.
Agree. Yes.
Right.
You're gonna see more teams, go the Tom Brady route. They want to win. Yeah, they want to get paid, but they want to. Why do you think nobody left Tampa? They're like, we're making okay enough money, and we're gonna win. We got a shot at the Super Bowl. It's like I called it last year. They're going to make the playoffs, and we'll see what happens. Does anybody doubt Tampa's going to make the playoffs this year?
Nope. And when they first did that stuff with Brady and they started signing all these people, they were like, okay, well, Tampa Bay is paying to win. And is it going to work? Well, it fucking did.
When you've got a guy, and they all see, you got to have that guy that's, not going to do like Aaron Rodgers and get that big payday and want to be the center of attention. You got that guy that wants to be the center of attention because they're winning.
I'll say this, guys. I heard this, but I had to look it up. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying I could see where you would sign a quarterback for a lot of money in NIL and, put around him. But like Miami signed, they didn't sign him. But y'all got a commitment from a quarterback. His last name's Rashada. It says he's poised to earn $9.5 million for his NIL.
That's not
in
true.
Agreement with a Miami booster, John Ruiz.
That's not true. Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Well, I mean, there's literally 8 articles in a row that all.
There was a bunch of articles that went out about that, and they were talking about how Florida offered him 11 million, and he went with Miami's 9.5. None of it's true. Florida didn't offer him that much. I don't think Miami did either.
Here's the thing:
with that being
that
said,
you have a bunch of articles written, all from one source.
Yeah, Florida fans went crazy.
I get that.
Florida fans went crazy, so everybody started writing articles about it, and it was probably stuff that was really being talked about, and that's fine. But I don't think none of that actually really happened. I don't think.
I have a feeling even the Tennessee quarterback had numbers getting blown out of proportion.
Do it?
Yes. But that's the thing, though. We won't know until these guys' first year when it really gets put out there. You know, like all we know right now is that it's either a rumor or it's not. So it's like, and I'm not knocking it. I'm saying if I was going to spend a bunch of money, it would be on a good quarterback so I could help my recruiting pitch to a top receiver, to a top offensive lineman, or, you know.
Right.
But at the same
that's
time,
the thing. We can sit here and talk all day, but we don't know what's really true or not.
Yeah.
They keep this stuff so under wraps.
Let's get back to something we can. I mean, as far as this season goes, the main reason there's hype around a lot of hype around Miami for this season is because for the first time, well, I'm not going to say for the first time, but they have probably the best or the second best quarterback they've had since Brock Berlin. And that's the main thing Miami's been missing over the past 15 years is a good quarterback.
Brad a really good defense.
Yeah, Brad Kyle was very good. I'm not going to knock him, but he had cinder blocks for feet, and he got sacked like 50 times a season. His offensive line was absolutely abysmal. And even with the offensive line troubles Miami has had, with Mario Cristobal and he's bringing his O-line coach from Oregon's offensive line was nowhere near a worry for them. So everybody's expecting it to be greatly improved.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
I will say this. A lot of people, so when you look at a new coach coming in, everybody's giving like Miami like a leeway, it seems like. I don't know if it's the recruiting and then it just blends in with their train of thought, but it's still going to be hard to come in and install your system. It's hard for everybody. It's going to be hard for Mario too.
And I agree with that. But here's the thing. Miami, perfect example, just take last year. They underperformed versus their talent. They had the 13th ranked roster in the country and they went 7-5. So they're going to have somewhere around the same talent because they brought in the 15th ranked recruiting class, and he brought in most of the transfers he brought in shore up the trenches on the offensive and defensive lines. So sorry about that.
Yeah, no, that's true.
With the talent there and the increase in coaching ability, they figure that's worth a couple extra wins over what they were able to do last year.
Yeah, no, see, and I can see that. I can see that. That makes sense to me. If you explain it that way, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. That's only because they've got the quarterback situation figured out. If they didn't have that figured out, then it's a combination of things.
Yeah. What did De'Aaron King ever do? Is he a free agent in the draft or in the bill now?
He entered the draft. He did not get drafted. I assume somebody picked him up.
Yeah, he's probably floating around there. He's
I would
probably
think somebody.
That's crazy. Because he wasn't bad. He wasn't.
But
amazing,
he just had the
but
rumors of injury. He just had the rumors of injury. Like he still had a lingering, whatever it was. I forgot. Slim told me his ankle or something. Yeah, he wasn't ready to play on at the beginning of the season.
No, he had in that bowl game against Oklahoma State. He tore his ACL.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I mean, it was evident from the first. I mean, it was evident in the first series of that Alabama game that
he wasn't himself anymore.
He was trying to stay in the pocket. I mean, that knee just wasn't right. And then you saw it in when they played App State. He broke off on a 40-yard run and then just went down. Like his knee gave out on him. He wasn't.
And not only that, but what didn't he just want to stop playing football after he left Houston, and then he decided to go to Miami? He just wanted to stop playing.
No, that was Jalen Phillips that had retired from
was
football. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
hey, Slim. I hopped in on T2Y stream the other day, and it was Jalen Phillips on there.
Dude, and, he's getting some folks on there. Props to him.
Well, he is. Yeah, he is. It's dope. I happened to pop in at the time that he said, the only reason I didn't go to Florida was because they was giving me racist vibes. I thought I knew I was going to get kicked out up there.
Dang.
But that just gives you like an idea of what Miami was back a little, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The real TV, the problem with Malik Rozier is he was not a good quarterback. Look at 2017. They were number 1 in the country in turnovers, and they were almost dead last in points off of turnovers.
Yeah, 2017 was a good year, but they were worse.
They were riding the defense. They were riding the defense and a turnover wave that lasted, almost pretty much all season.
Yeah, I agree.
That's crazy. Well, look, we went over on
real quick. What are you looking forward to, Slim? Like, what do you want to see from Miami?
Talking about this year or
this year? Yeah, this year. Like, what's the main thing you need to see?
I need to see them play up to their talent level. You know, they need to. I believe they can go into Texas A&M and win. I don't know if they will. That's a very hard place to win.
Yeah.
And with the talent that they've got on the team, like I said, they've got a top 15 roster. They should be able to hang with Clemson. They should be able to keep it within 2 scores. But I don't think they'll beat Clemson. I think their best bet at beating Clemson would be a rematch in the ACC championship game. And listen, I've said the same thing about Miami since they joined the ACC. They're by far they're the most talented team in that division. Play up to it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody would disagree. And I guess I have to ask this too. Damn, I forgot what I was. Okay, with Miami, what do you think the goal is for this year? Like what is the baby step this year? What is the step this year towards next year? Like, and I know living up to the talent, you're saying like you hope they do their thing, but do you need that one win over a Texas A&M or Clemson? Do you need a ACC championship appearance? Like, what is that one thing where you would just be like, dude, hell, like this is going in the right direction? What would you need?
Two things. Make the ACC title game, and no matter what, win your bowl game. Because they've won 2 bowl games since 2006. That's a habit that you need to break.
And if you do that, that's just another straw to hang your hat on with Mario's recruiting. It would just kill it even more.
Yes, and you're finishing the season with momentum. You're hyped up. You're not down at all going into the summer. I see that. Well, but hey, we are gonna wrap the stream up, Slim. We might bring on Slim a little earlier next time. That way we can talk some stuff with him because
it's good talk. We
I'm
appreciate
loving
it.
this, dude. I'm loving this show. I'm loving everything it's bringing. And I think when the season gets here, leading up to the season, this is gonna be we're gonna have a lot to talk about. We'll say that.
I have a question. Is this guy Jacob in the comment section an Alabama fan? Because I've seen him make several Alabama-esque comments.
Yeah, he's a Bama
You can
fan
sniff him out. You can sniff him out like a fucking hound dog, can't you?
Hold on, Slim, you going in and out. Slim, I can't hear you very well.
Nick Saban got there.
Say that all again.
He made a comment about Miami having a fluke season. I said, for 20 years before Nick Saban got to Alabama, that's all they had was a couple of fluke seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a little bit silly.
Okay, Jacob, I'm glad you beat Miami. Great. I'm happy for you. Guess what? We beat Alabama too.
Yeah, that's Manny Diaz too.
I mean, he wants to talk about now Miami sucks when Alabama was winning titles. What was Alabama doing when Miami was winning titles? Oh, shit. Yeah, that's right.
Look.
They got caught paying Albert Means, and all of a sudden they couldn't make a bowl game, and we're winning like 5 games a year.
Look, all we've been doing is just talking the current situation of Miami, and trust me, I don't like Miami. So that with that out of the way, I mean, we're just talking about what Miami's doing in the state of Miami and all that kind of thing. I mean, that's all we're talking about.
Yeah.
So no,
and I think it'd be good every week to bring on.
I mean, trust me, nobody hates Miami probably more than me in this whole show and comment section. So
yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel better, the sentiment is reciprocated about Florida.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you guys are being so cordial. Y'all just being so nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, I mean, my problems with Florida isn't really with the fan base. It's with the administration for cutting off the series.
Yeah, but I will say I am glad that in 24 and 25 we play again. I am glad for that. And Florida actually plays
that game is going to be so lit. Game is going to be so lit, bro.
It's going to be lit. Florida plays UCF, FSU, and Miami in 2024 and 2025.
Wow.
They play every team in Florida. So that's what I'm looking for.
I'm going to need you to do something.
Yeah, and so hopefully Billy Dave, you're better get his shit in order because I don't want to lose these games.
What's up, Slim?
That's exactly right. TB, you better be watching those games with him because that man is going to be on the verge of swallowing his tongue when Miami comes into the swamp and drops a 50-piece on him.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't know about a 50-piece, bro. Last time it was a 20-piece, and there was no chicken nuggets with it.
But y'all know for sure the reason why that game is so big, yes, it's because y'all haven't played in a while, but Florida versus Miami, the winner of that game, it's not saying it's going to be 100% this way, but that does so much for recruiting for the state of Florida. The big dog, like if Florida wins that game, they're gonna hold it over your head for a whole year, blah blah. Like,
I think it does more for the fan base. The recruiting not so much because when you recruit a kid, you're talking 4-year period.
That wants to go to Florida or a kid that wants to go to Miami, and you're kind of in between, and you see Florida go in and just straight, dog them, or you see Miami go in, like you said, drop 50 on them. It's like it's going to excite you one way or the other. So,
it will, yeah.
Not saying that every recruit. I'm just saying those few that are on the,
If you're leaning Florida and Miami and you have to pick one, and then during the season you see some either Miami or Florida just destroy a team, yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, I mean, TB has a valid point because, I bragged for, 32 years that Florida didn't beat Miami?
Yeah. Hell, ain't nobody trying to go to Georgia Tech over Georgia.
Like I just said about the point about the recruiting thing, Florida played Miami last and beat them with Felipe Franks. Did it help Florida's recruiting? Nah, I know you're going to say the damn thing, and you're going to say all this bullshit, but at the end of the day, it did not help Florida's recruiting. And it actually helped Miami more than it did Florida's.
I know.
Yeah, because Miami had a really good showing in that game.
Had a what?
He's saying they had a good showing. Like they
played.
The
reason it helped Miami. The reason it helped Miami is because Florida was ranked top 10, and Miami had a chance to win the game right there at the very end. So
true, it's very true.
And what I'm trying to say though is nobody's choosing Georgia Tech over Georgia. If you're a really good player, you're going to Georgia. Why? Why aren't you going to Georgia Tech? They're both, they're both in Georgia. They're both, D1 schools. But that's my point.
And they have nothing to sell.
Stay home. You're trying to stay home. You're not going to Georgia Tech. You're choosing Georgia. If Florida or Miami wins 4 or 5 straight, the kid who is a 7th grader, who now is a 12th grader, and all he knows is Miami's won the last 5 years. If you want to be a winner, quotations, you're going to the team that's won the last 5 years. If it's a back and forth battle and this team is winning 3 or 2, then yeah, it is what it is. But
I'll end you with this. This should give you an insight into how Mario recruits and quite possibly why he's so good. And this may actually kind of disprove what you were just saying, because I get the whole point of going to the team that's good, but something Mario is focused on since he's been there is he's showing up to Pee Wee football and up in South Florida.
Yeah.
He's trying to tie the University of Miami to 10-year-olds. That way they're fans and they want to go to Miami from 10 years old all the way up through high school, and he's got them.
I think that's
just what good recruiters do. That's just what they do.
Yes. But I agree. And that's a good point. I think, like you said, good recruiters, good coaches. There's so many aspects that go into recruiting and coaching. I think of like a high school football program, right? If the 3 of us were high school coaches for one high school, and we're meeting, hey guys, I'm going by the rec department, and all of the 8U, 9U, 10U, 11U, 12, all the way up, all the rec teams, we're going to invite them out, one age group, every home game, and let them come out at halftime and wave to the fans, get in free if they have the jersey on. That way, as they're growing up, they have created this relationship with our school. They have created this chemistry, this buy-in. Yeah. So when they're here, it's like, man, I can't.
And it's years of it, too.
And so what he was doing is taking the old approach that worked when Miami was cheap and how they got players to come there. They tied it to the city, and you don't have to go to Tuscaloosa, or you don't have to go to Athens, or you don't have to go wherever. You can stay right here and play half your games every year in front of your mom and daddy. And
not only that, but so I'll tell you this is what Billy is doing at Florida. He's trying to put a border around the school. So he's trying to keep talent in state, and which is good, and he's doing it. The problem is Mario is going out of state and keeping the in-state kids.
Yes.
Mario's doing both.
Agreed.
So
it's almost like Mario.
It ain't going to be too long before we come to Gainesville High School again and snatch the next Clinton Portis.
We'll see. We'll see. I will tell you the one gripe I have about Mario is I don't know how he can develop. I don't know.
Little known
fact. Fair point to be made.
Little known fact: Clinton Portis went to Gainesville High School, and Miami come and snatched him right out of there.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It can happen. No, I mean it doesn't surprise me.
And they weren't even there looking at him. I heard an interview with Don Solinger telling the story. He was there looking at somebody else. He's like, I told Clinton Portis after I watched him play, he's like, if you want to come to Miami, I'll give you a scholarship. If not, don't waste my fucking time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, look, Slim,
hey, man.
I'm going to let you go. As always, what'd you say?
Is Octavian trying to come on real quick? We can keep Slim if he comes on.
Who you talking about, Octavian?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, that's what I was going to say is
Octavian needs to argue with the delusional Miami fans. Like you know, Fishen's not part of the delusional half of Florida fans. Octavian's the representation for them.
There you go. Well, and what I was going to say is, I like I said before, I appreciate you coming on because this is what I want this channel to be. Is I don't mind the bias fan coming in and yelling and all this and that and getting mad, especially if their team loses or wins, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But I want it to be a lot of good football talk because I love nothing more than when fans of different teams come in and speak from their side, but from a good perspective, like from a non-biased side. Like I love it. I love
that's the main thing I like about Slim because it's just no bullshit and if Miami sucks, he's going to tell you. If Miami's good, he's going to tell you. And I
he's
try to
gonna
be the
hard.
same way about Florida. Like if Florida's doing bad shit, I'm going to tell you about it.
So this is what we'll do, guys. To wrap up the show, I'm going to bring on Octavian. We're all of us. We're going to go over the SEC West preview. I'd said we would do it, so I want to definitely get it in.
Okay.
And so that's what we'll do. Okay, and we'll try to make it quick. I know we'll have 4 of us kind of speaking on it, but yeah, all right, bring in Mr. Octavian.
What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys?
Nothing much, man.
What it do, man? What it do?
Yeah.
What it do?
We about to
Slim City Canes, man. Gotta start that quarterback from us, huh?
Yeah, but he wasn't the only one, but okay.
Yeah, start that Rashada dude. It's all right.
Yeah.
Actually, we talk about the SEC West.
Yeah, we're just gonna go over. We're just gonna go over the teams like in the SEC West and kind of just basically where we rank them. I'm
gonna rank Alabama first.
Let's go through it and you know.
Yeah.
Let me know what you think about every team.
All right, I'll say this. Of course, the reason I got Alabama first in the SEC West is because of what's up, CJ. But it's because of all of the talent they're bringing back. Heisman quarterback, Jahmyr Gibbs now at running back. They finally have a good running game. Is their offensive line going to step up? Doesn't really matter. They didn't step up last year. They still won the West. So I don't know. I'm keeping it short and simple. Defense has to step up. You can't just have Will Anderson make every tackle every game. And aside from that, the only team I see giving them fits is Texas A&M. But that's it. That's all I got.
So you're saying undefeated?
Actually, I'm losing one game out of the regular season.
Do you see him undefeated? It's a hard question because I got to answer.
I'm gonna say undefeated.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say undefeated. I'm gonna say Alabama goes undefeated in the West.
I don't ever call anybody undefeated, including my own team, because it's a very hard thing to do.
It's very hard.
I see them losing one game, and the one game I had them losing is the game at Oxford against Ole Miss. Ole Miss, I think for some reason Ole Miss plays good when they play Alabama at home instead of in Tuscaloosa. I think that's the game they lose.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. I told you I was ready to watch Ole Miss beat Alabama last year, and I sat on the couch. I had my damn popcorn ready, and they blew them the fuck out.
I have no faith in Lane Kiffin, the head coach, and I think Ole Miss was a better team last year than they're going to be this year. I don't think it's going to be Texas A&M that beats them.
I don't either.
Honestly, I think it's either going to be that air raid with Mike Leach, because I think that offense is going to be much improved this year, or it's going to be Arkansas. I mean, Sam Pittman, Arkansas.
I thought about Arkansas too. I forgot about those. Forgot about Arkansas. They still got KJ Jefferson.
Yes. The only thing Arkansas lost is Treylon Burks.
But
That's the only thing they lost.
Yeah.
And Mississippi State brings back everything. Now they play pretty much average defense. But Will Rogers coming back, he threw almost 5,000 fucking yards last year.
And I know what the Alabama fans are saying. It's not going to be Arkansas. It's not going to be Mississippi. Listen, every year pretty much somebody beats Alabama that all the Alabama fans say, there's no way in hell that team's beating us. They've only gone undefeated, twice?
Yes. And with that being said, too, with everything that's going on in the offseason, I think Alabama might just choke the living hell out of Texas A&M. Nick Saban might just kill them.
I can see that.
So they have the most talent to compete with Bama, but as far as how the game's going to go, I'm not buying it.
Nick Saban's looking to shove in Jimbo's shit. That's going to be what
happens. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a good comparison. A good comparison because I think Florida's going to destroy LSU because Billy Napier wanted that job and they had no thoughts about it, and so I think he's going to take that game personally.
Right.
So I'm going to say this before we move to second in the SEC West. So remind you guys, Arkansas, Mississippi State, and Texas A&M, all three went 4-4 in the West last year. All three went 50% last year.
It's
So,
because the West is
and
so
I
good, man.
just wanted to
West
throw
is
that out.
just good.
But so I'll say this. I do think a lot of these teams are tough, and I think Bama has to get everybody's A game every time they play them. That's why a team like A&M, who went 8-4, beat Bama because they got A&M's best game. But yet A&M couldn't beat the brakes off of, some old lady at Publix the week after or the week before. So I get that, but I'm gonna go with this is tough. I think I'm going to agree with Slim. I'm going with Mississippi State coming in at 2 because Mike Leach with SEC receivers, with getting his recruits in, bro, you cannot stop that kind of offense when he has what he needs. You couldn't stop it at a freaking school with a bunch of 2 and 3 stars. Now he's got 4 and 5. So
Yeah, the real
that's what
I just
TB.
don't see. I just don't see Mississippi State at 2. I see them at a good possible 3 or 4, but 2 is a little too high. I say
Octavian,
Arkansas.
don't be sleeping on Mississippi State now.
I ain't
no,
sleeping
no,
on
but
Mississippi
I
State.
agree though too. Arkansas pick it too.
I like
Oh
Arkansas
no,
is a
Arkansas.
good
yeah,
pick
that's my
too.
two. That's
I'm gonna
definitely
pick
my two.
Mississippi State. We'll say Arkansas. He's got Arkansas at 2. You got Arkansas at 2. Slam. Who would you say in the West? Who would you pick at 2?
As fun as that Mike Leach offense is to watch, I think Sam Pittman just has Arkansas playing more disciplined football,
hmm
and that's where
He's much more consistent. No hiccups, no turnovers. Like just a very balanced, consistent play.
And year after year so far since Sam Pittman's been there,
It's closing the gap.
He's exceeded expectations. So
yeah, it was 42-35 last year.
Every year.
It was 42-35 last year. Arkansas versus Bama.
I'm taking the risk. I'm taking the risk on Mississippi State, not hitting lightning or not striking lightning, but I'm taking the risk on if they light up the scoreboard, it's going to be a high scoring game between them and Bama. I could see him pulling it out, but if he does what he does, because he's one of those, think about it. We know there are run games out there that slow the clock down, they move the ball, bleed the clock. He does that with passing. All these short routes that he does, dude, it's just tough, bro. It's just tough. So
I'll tell you
my
this.
risk.
yeah, and if you want to find a consistent weak point in Alabama's defense, look at every single time Alabama gets beat, their secondary gets torched.
Yeah, and it's usually by a dual threat QB too.
It's not their front seven. It's always strong. It's their secondary getting beat.
Yeah, and that's a product of playing elite old school defense. That's what that is.
Yes. You play with you're too worried about stopping the run. Your defense is predicated on stopping the run. So you leave too many gaps. You leave too much responsibility in the sense you think you can get to the quarterback before he has time to dissect your secondary.
Yep.
I'm not sure if it's a defense predicated on stopping the run. I think that's just Nick Saban's defense.
It is, yeah. I was
he
going to say.
focuses on the front seven being the strength of his defense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And that's kind of, yes, I agree. And that's what he sells. That's what he sells in recruiting. So
now since we're talking Bama, I'm just going to tell you, Bama has a really good team coming this year. I don't care what wide receivers they lost. Well, of course I care, but they've got transfers and people stepping up that's going to fulfill that. They have a really young secondary, but they're really fucking talented.
Well,
they have a really good team stepping up, and then the D line and the linebackers. I mean, they've got all the pieces. All you have to do basically is put the pieces together. Like you've got the coaching and everything, the talent sitting right there in front of you. Put it together, and then you're gonna have an amazing defense. That's just what Alabama has.
Yeah, and it's not at all like we're trying to say Alabama's bad. I mean, we're picking them to lose at worst one game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks they're falling off a damn cliff or anything.
Oh no, I think they'll lose one too. I don't know where.
And you
Like
got
I
to
said,
think though,
it's just a general rule for me, and like I said, it even goes for my own team. I don't pick anybody to go undefeated. I think it's just too hard to do it.
Well, let me ask you this: have you looked at Georgia's schedule?
I think they got the cupcake schedule. Little Debbie's.
I don't see a game Georgia loses.
Well, yes, but everybody said the same thing
Exactly.
in 2019, and they lost to South Carolina.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right.
They were one play away from losing. They were one play away from losing the Clemson game this past year. So I mean,
yeah, agreed. No,
and then you have momentum shifts like that Clemson game. Like, what if the team played different after losing that game? If they did, if they didn't get the pick six, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I was watching Uncle Lou's stream. If it wasn't for Georgia's defense playing out of their mind, they would have lost the Florida game.
Oh, well, that's very true. Well,
that's why your boy TB and a few others have said the defense is what won us that national championship. What no Stetson Bennett.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't have as many Georgia fans are trying to pick a repeat. It's even harder to repeat than it is to go undefeated.
It's not happening. Probably it could, but that's a good point. People bring up that Florida game and how Georgia just shut Florida out. Florida was in that game until right before the half, and Anthony Richardson got pressured, and it was not even just throwing interceptions or mistakes. He threw, I think, one tip ball and one actual interception, but they just happened to happen in the same.
And then y'all had
a
fumble.
Of the game.
And we had a fumble by the goal line.
Yeah, and so just shit like that. But the whole this is hard to defend, but I mean, Florida played a complete game against Georgia. No matter how bad they were last year, they played a good game.
We played a good game.
The problem was Georgia pulled away in the third and fourth quarter, and Florida couldn't do anything on offense because of that defense, and that's just what it came down to. But the Florida defense held Georgia down.
There you go.
In the beginning of that game, they did.
All right, well let's get to number 3 for TB because I know he's looking to wrap up the show for long.
Yeah, some extra large wrap on the show. All right, number 3. Since I had Mississippi State at 2, I'm putting Arkansas at 3 because that was my 1A, 1B. So I'm putting Arkansas at 3 for me. I think they just have an overall great offense, great defense. Like you said, they're disciplined, and their head coach literally has those guys ready to run through a wall every single week. So that's my number 3.
Well,
that's number 3 for you.
And like you, I'm going to keep it consistent. I'd put Mississippi State at 3rd in the West.
I think I'm aligning with you, Slim. I don't know what you think about number 2, but is that your number 3, TB?
Yeah.
Yes, my number 2 is Mississippi State.
I've got A&M number 3, and I've got Arkansas number 2.
I've got Arkansas too, I've got A&M at obviously I got Mississippi.
It's a toss up. I know. But
I got A&M at 4.
With me, A&M is at 4 because A&M is going to go 8-4, and I'm gonna predict it until they prove me wrong. It's just what A&M does.
I got a girl Slim say the Canes. They're losing 4 games off for real. I know they're losing to Miami the 3rd week of the season.
No.
Damn, we got that on video. Octavia picked Miami to win a game.
No. No.
They're losing. They're losing that game. They're losing.
No.
Well, look, that was quick. Thank y'all. We're moving on. Number 4 for me. Yeah, I gotta go. Oh, well, you know what, bro? Dang, this gonna make Texas A&M fans mad.
Hey, bro, fuck.
No, I'm not gonna
A&M, bro.
Okay, number 4, I'm going
about Texas A&M around here. Nobody cares, bro.
Yeah, nobody
if you want to put them in the mud, put them in the mud, bro.
LSU. I was thinking LSU.
See, you gotta deal with that problem,
quarterback.
No,
I'm going A&M. Going A&M at 4.
I'm going LSU at 4. I'm going LSU at 4.
Okay. All right.
Octavian, what's your top?
Fishen,
What's your
Slim.
top 4?
My top four is Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi State, and LSU.
You
Go
said you
ahead.
had A&M at 4.
Here, I'll make this easy. I'll make this
Please
easy.
do. Please do.
Alabama's 1, Arkansas's 2, Mississippi State's 3, A&M's 4,
Well, I like it.
LSU's going to be 5, Ole Miss is going to be 6.
I like it. The only thing I would say
And
with
Auburn
that,
is last
Auburn
place.
finishing last.
Yeah, Auburn's
Auburn's
going
finished
to
last.
Auburn's
Everybody
complete
agrees
dumpster
Auburn's
fire.
finished.
yeah,
Everybody
Auburn
agrees
doo-doo.
Auburn's gonna finish last.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you 2 things. I'm gonna tell you Texas A&M. I like picking them there. I like the spot. I think they could surprise people and be higher. And I think the same thing about Auburn. I think Auburn could actually be higher too.
Auburn
Because of their D line and because of Tank Bigsby, I think they could end up maybe a spot or maybe 2 higher. Just because of that.
Auburn may end up with the same record as Vanderbilt.
Auburn's firing their coach this year. There's no doubt about it.
And they also could end up with a new head coach.
They're gonna fire their coach. They're gonna fire their head coach, and they're gonna hire Dave Aranda. I can see it. I see it happening. I see it. Happening.
That's an interesting point. Dave Aranda can't recruit, so I'd be fine with that.
Well, all right. This is what I'm gonna do then. I'm gonna let my boy Slim go. I'm gonna let my boy Octavian go. I'm gonna give my listing of the SEC West. We'll wrap up the show. We didn't mean to go this long, but that's a good thing because that means that things went well. So, thank y'all for sure.
Hey, Slim, Octavian, we appreciate y'all coming on, bro.
All right. Thank y'all for having me on. Go Gators.
Yeah, we love it, bro.
See y'all. Yeah, man, this is I'll go ahead and say it. This is amazing before we even in the stream, but I'm gonna give you mine. I got Alabama 1. I'm gonna go Mississippi State 2, Arkansas 3, A&M. I'm gonna go Ole Miss above LSU and Auburn because Ole Miss went 7-0 at home last year. They went 10-3, bro. They went 10-3. I think they just crapped the bed against Bama. You went 7-0 at home. The only other team to go undefeated at home in the West was Bama.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and of course Arkansas would have went undefeated at home, but they played Georgia, so they went 6-1. So tough, but and I'm gonna have LSU and then Auburn.
You got A&M at 4. Who you got at 4?
I got A&M at 4. At 3, Arkansas, 2, Mississippi State, 1, Bama. I think LSU is a flip because you never know how somebody's going to do in their first year, but we know LSU is loaded with talent. Loaded. So, it's just tough, bro. Jay says you lost faith in Kiffin, ? He owned the portal, though. Well, and that's kind of what I'm saying.
But the quarterback situation and the running backs have all went to the draft, too, for Ole Miss.
But at the same time,
okay, hold on. This is a great point. This is a great point because this is what you were saying earlier about finding out how good of a coach you are. Lane Kiffin can't recruit these people to replace. He's getting them through the transfer portal. If Jackson Dart is amazing, and if I forget the running back's name, Zach Evans. If Zach Evans is amazing, which he is, But if Ole Miss puts it together after losing all that talent, because they lost a lot of talent last year, and then if the defense gets better, because the defense has been getting better, and then the DC leaves, if you bring somebody in and the defense still gets better. Anyway, long story short, if Ole Miss has a really, really good year, you're gonna know a lot more about how good Lane Kiffin it really is. That's what it comes down to.
I agree 1,000%. I've always said Lane is one of the best offensive masterminds there ever has been as far as an offensive coordinator. But the question was, can he coach? Well, he can coach, but the recruiting part was the problem. But now college football has variables. You've got NIL.
I mean, nobody wants to go live in Mississippi. There's nobody paying in Mississippi.
So now NIL and transfer portal, I didn't want to go to Mississippi at first, but I'm not happy here. And Mississippi plays in the SEC.
And that's where you go. You're going to spark.
Yeah.
The offense is going to be good.
If he, like you said, if he does what you just said, that they dominate the transfer portal from here on out. I can go there and in 1 year and he can plug and play me and send me to the draft,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people were saying, I mean, you can't go to the transfer portal and build a roster. And it wasn't the way that you could do it, but now it is. You can do it now.
Yes.
You can do it. You can actually do it. It's more like free agency, and it's only going to get more like free agency. You can actually build a class from the transfer portal if you get enough people to want to come there.
Now, tell me, though, it's kind of like free agency, but then the other side, why it's not. In the NFL, every coach is elite. In college football, every coach is not elite. So transfer portal, you can build your team out of the transfer portal, but if you don't know how to plug and play them and you can't fit them in your scheme,
right,
you're not going to have many people trying to transfer there. But like you said, if Lane Kiffin dominates, you're going to have best places to transfer to. You're going to have that. You have your Bamas, your Ohio State, your Georgia, Clemson, your big-time schools, but they've already got all their recruits. If I'm trying to transfer, I don't think Georgia will take me.
Exactly.
But, hey,
if
Ole Miss or Florida?
You're absolutely right, bro. If you're looking to transfer, you're not in like, let's say you're like a star of a team. Let's give an example. Luther Burden, I don't know if you know who he is, but he's a 5-star wide receiver at Missouri.
You said Martin Luther King? I'm just kidding, bro. But yeah, go ahead.
Nah, but no, I mean, he's amazing. He's amazing. He has no quarterback to throw in the ball. I don't know if that was an NIL thing. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know how they got him to come there, but it was a great get for them. But for that being said, is he going to go to Ohio State? Maybe. But for your point, you're saying the teams that you know you can transfer, start right away and contribute. So, and Ole Miss is one of those. Tennessee is one of those.
Yeah.
I mean, Southern Cal probably one of those. I mean, you see like the consistency, like where the program is at the time. Like that's when you know where to go. And Ole Miss is just like if you're a transfer, you want to go to Ole Miss.
You at least, you want. There's a tier 1 and a tier 2. Those are the top tiers that you want to go to. Ole Miss, USC. I would even put South Carolina. If South Carolina with Spencer Rattler who's tied in, let them do pretty decent this year. That's going to be a landing spot. Tennessee, let them do decent this year. Like it. You want to go to a place where you don't have to deal with that coach that's like Fishen. This guy's been here 4 years. It's his time to shine. As long as you come here and you work your tail off, in 2 years you'll be playing. It's like, bro, I'm already good. I'm
exactly
not waiting for my one-time transfer to go and
nobody wants to go in. No elite prospect wants to go in and have to compete with other 5-stars for a job, unless it was really profitable. If you like. That's what makes Ole Miss so attractive, is because they need you and they need you now, and they're guaranteeing you that you will be a difference maker, and that's what you'll be if you come there. That's the thing.
I'm a Georgia fan, and I'm gonna say this, and then we can wrap up the show. But I'm a Georgia fan. But Darnell Washington, when the rumors were out about him leaving, it was rumored if JT Daniels went to Ole Miss, because that's where the landing spot. Lane Kiffin was in Athens for a weekend visiting them. If JT would have went to Ole Miss, Darnell was going too. For Darnell, not as a Georgia fan. No, it was rumored they were trying to go together.
I haven't heard that, but I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
But if Darnell went to Ole Miss, that dude would have 100 yards every game. That dude would have 100 yards every. He's
probably
6'7",
right.
6'8", 280.
I don't know about 100. I don't know about 100, but yeah, no, I know what you're saying. 80 to 100. Yeah.
Because Ole Miss plays so much downfield, they pass so much downfield. Dude, he would have maybe not 100, but he'd have his 15 catches a game, and the 100 would be up to him. The 100 would be up to him being able to make a move, make a defender miss. He would get so much better because he'd get so much more opportunity. But did Georgia keep him for a reason? Did they promise him? Wait, Jacob,
What'd he say?
I didn't know Jay Shops was timing people out. It doesn't mean that he's timing people out. Jay, relax, bro.
Hey, man.
Kiffin sneaky with getting running back 20 yards too. Agreed.
That's what I said.
Kiffin, no,
Zach Evans. Zach Evans. He is sneaky with that. I feel like we could talk 30 minutes about Lane Kiffin. I'm gonna try to wrap it up, but I just, like we talked about, it's an attractive spot for a transfer. This time in college football, you can actually build onto a transfer portal class because of just the way the football is. Man, you know what Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss is? I don't like to make this comparison. It's a little bit weird, but it's just fun. Like, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Don't, well, and this may be a knock to the NFL too, but don't worry about blocking. Don't worry about, blah, 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 the physical characteristics or whatever, but just come here and play and like catch balls, throw the ball, but whatever. That's just kind of what it seems like to me. It's just, I don't know.
And I want to add to that, because they play so fast, they're able to rotate more. They're able to have more guys that contribute and be a part. Therefore, you have more people buying in. Your chemistry's up. You don't have just 2 or 3 receivers like you do at Georgia catching the ball. You at Ole Miss, you got 7 or 8 every game that are for sure catching it, and then your 9, 10, and 11 are getting their 1 or 2 catches, but everybody's getting reps. Like, I agree. What we'll do is, I think we can talk more about Lane Kiffin. We'll put him as a subject of next week's. We could even make a video later this week
to say about that.
But I'm definitely going to clip this part of the video. There's a few parts in this video we can clip, but I'm going to clip this part of the video talking about Lane, kind of give him his props, because as much as I don't like the dude, there's a lot. Like I said, there's a lot we can talk about.
There's a lot of stuff you got to love about him, though.
Yes. So with that being said, guys, second episode of your boy TB and Fishen on here, balling out. Just a reminder, next week we'll be on this channel, but the following week we will be on Fishen's channel. So just a heads up. Of course, you guys will see it. Y'all are subscribed to Fishen. If you're not, you need to go ahead and subscribe to him. And so we'll just you just look up Fishen Football in the search bar, and I'm sure you'll find it. But just appreciate y'all for real. This has been fun. This is exactly what we wanted it to be, and I'm glad we had a lot more people come on today. Your point worked as far as posting the link early. We had a lot of different people coming on talking football, and that's what we want. We literally want, bro, all of these people coming in. Like, we want all these people coming in and want to be able to talk. Jacob, I want Jacob, Real TB, next week to come on in. I would love him to.
The Real TB won't come.
I want to talk to him. I want
him to too. I mean, I just want to talk to him. We don't. If he calls in, we'll make an exception. We don't even have to talk football. If he calls in.
Oh, you're gonna be able to talk to him? Yeah.
Yeah, that's my boy right there. Okay. Yeah. If he calls in, but anyway, I mean, we love people calling in. No matter what it is, what you want to talk about. It's always fun, and then it just sparks new ideas, things we can talk about. So the show is fun. Like I said, I'll say this probably every single week when I leave here. It's only getting better because we're getting closer.
Agreed.
To football.
So, he's not playing, bro.
Yeah,
he's not playing. We got a lot of things that once we get this crap down, bro, we are going to have a lot that will make this show really fun. And
you guys are a part of it, like y'all joining in and talking. So it's legit.
Honestly look at this like it's gonna be a TV show, bro. That's literally what I think about. Like, it's gonna be a TV show because I'm gonna love being able to put up video footage and being able to look at some highlights. Like, that's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fuck ESPN. Just come over here, bro.
Yeah, facts, bro. The new media, baby. New media.
That's right.
Screw the old media. Screw the old heads that ain't never played football.
That's right.
Bro.
You already know.
We here now.
You already know.
But for real though. But yeah, appreciate you, big dog, Mr. Fishen. And
yeah, man.
That's it. I guess that's all I got to say.
That's it, man. Like that's number 2.
Subscribe real quick. And we'll see y'all next week. We'll see you next week, Fishen.
Deuce.
Facts. Peace, y'all.
All right, my people.